Are you there?
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Hi. Oh, this is the best that I can give you.
Why?
Well,
Why?
wait. Let me try another room. Another room. I think I'm in the dining. Let me try the office room where I can
Oh, okay, that's better because I felt like I was talking with a ghost.
yes, be all right now.
That's much much better.
Okay, much better, right?
Yeah, that's good. Great.
So I don't
Okay.
have that power, so I can wait. This computer can wait for 1 hour. Okay, fine.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm not intending to
Okay.
keep this conversation that long.
So,
Just very
now
short.
it should be around 11:30 over there or 12. What's the time?
Right now is 11:40, 11:40.
Okay, okay.
11:40 a.m. And what time is in Sri Lanka?
It's 10 p.m.
It's 10 p.m.
Actually, it's 10 p.m. 10.
10 p.m. Okay, so this is really great to be able to connect with you through these modern uh, devices to be able to
Yeah.
connect wherever we are and etc. So thank you for accepting to talk to me. As you know, I have a blog and I want to include in the blog also people, real people that are taking MOOCs. Why are they taking MOOCs? And especially in Sri Lanka, I would like you to let me know if you have had the possibility to explore how people in the place where you are living, in the country where you are living, are using MOOCs, if they are using MOOCs, if they are not. How do you think that MOOCs can help different kind of communities where you live? So I would like to hear your experience if it is possible. First of all, how do you pronounce your name? Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it.
It's Dilrukshi.
Dirukshi. Is that
Yes.
okay?
Yes.
Dirukshi.
Dilrukshi. Yes.
Dirukshi. Okay, Dirukshi. So l- let's talk about MOOCs in your community.
Oh, okay. I haven't come across with a lot of people who are using MOOCs in Sri Lanka because I think it's really new. But when I started my first MOOC, it was in 2012 when Stanford starts its CI course in 2012 March, I guess. Since then, I've been practicing, but lately I found few people who are doing MOOCs, but they have other commitments, like for example, 2 or 3 lecturers in universities.
Oh,
So
okay. So you're talking about students that they are studying graduate school or undergraduate, and also they are taking the MOOCs.
no, they're one of this. Two of them are staff actually. They are not students. They're lecturers. That means they're teachers.
They are teachers.
Yes.
Okay.
And the students that I've met so far, um, they explore MOOCs, what we call window shopping people.
Okay.
They just uh, they just use MOOCs in and out for their learning purpose. Not they do not make that relation. Now, for example, you and I got to know each other, and we have a connection or network. Like we know each other that we are interested in MOOCs. So I have not come across with anybody who have that interest of community building or else networking, you know, make a community of scholars type of things.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Most of them, like because they don't find any credentials, taking a MOOC doesn't give them any benefits other than learning for themselves.
Okay.
Most of the students are facing the job challenges. So in the setup in Sri Lanka, still they don't recognize MOOC as a prospect in their CV or something.
Okay.
No, because they don't see I mean, even the companies don't see a value if anybody insert MOOCs in their CV. So that demotivates the students to complete the courses. I'm sure they are looking into the subjects, they are looking into the videos, but most of them are not seriously taking the course and completing it for knowledge purpose.
Especially because, as you said, the certification is they feel that the certification is not helping them to move further into a job seeking or into their careers.
That's right. That's the main reason so far. So far, because MOOC is something that they do for their interest. That interest don't give them a value, so that's the least priority for them.
How would you, I mean, I don't know anything about Sri Lanka, which is great and bad. Great because I would like you to explain me a little bit about the country, about the economical problems, and especially if you think that that MOOCs could help, how could MOOCs help different sectors of your community? Because talking about one community is impossible. So which sectors do you think MOOCs could help and how? How would you use them to help your community, these certain communities?
Oh, I see a huge potential in MOOCs. So far, people have not understood the value of it because the before going to the economic sector, our education sector here is more rather it's more theoretical, very didactic, where we sit on exams, exam orient culture, where if you have a master's degree, if you have a BSc, if you have a PhD, then they feel like, okay, you are much recognized and anybody has not,
Sorry,
oh,
this is live. So that happens. Okay, sorry.
it's okay. So it's more rather certificate orient education system rather than knowledge orient. People don't value what they can do. Most of them, what they value is the certifications, how many they
Wow.
have. You
Oh,
can find yeah, up to a certain extent, like even though if you don't have certificates, you may find good jobs, if you have the true personality and if you can, show that you can do something. But for majority of the people, it's all depends on the qualifications, qualification oriented system.
wow. So what is the how what would be the percentage of people that attain college that can get that kind of certifications?
That's the huge problem. The whole education system in government, what government offers is totally free.
Oh, okay.
So the bachelor's degrees offered from national universities are 100% free. So there are lots of private sector. Now the true problem is, since the government is offering free of charge education, not many people can go to the university because there's an entrance exam.
Okay.
So, which means the whole population, the people who take the exam, only few percentages of students enter into the national scheme.
And
That's
what happened with the rest that can't?
that's the problem. Then they have to find other alternative ways to get to a degree. So that's the place where the private sector comes in. So there will be students who are in national university uh, taking the BSc or any bachelor's degree free of charge, whereas a person who could not pass that entrance exam, who will be paying much more amounts in private sector to get the same degree.
Okay. Okay,
So
sorry. So of course there are universities that are private.
that's right. That's right.
Okay.
We
Okay.
find lots of fine because there's a huge demand from uh, the students who could not pass. There are lots of private sector universities.
Oh,
Since there are lots of private universities, the national university lecturers who are the teachers are lecturing or teaching in those private universities because they pay very well.
okay.
So the national university students have less, you know, the quality of, I don't know, the lecturers, and then sometimes you don't find the good lecturers hanging around in the national universities. There's this chicken and egg problem now rather than earlier because there are lots of private universities are there, and the private universities always try to absorb good lecturers or the lecturers from the national universities who have the recognition. And in that case, uh, because of the factor it's provided free, the quality it's not up to a standard. Not all the national universities, but most of them.
How many national universities do you think you
Oh,
have?
we have a handful, I guess, like 13, 14. Because it's a very small country.
Mm-hmm.
We have, within a 24 hours time, you can travel within the country.
Oh, okay.
So only few. We have only 20 million population, I guess, and the yeah, if I'm not incorrect, yeah.
Okay. And is there any of those universities who already adopted MOOCs or that they are developing MOOCs?
In the university that I'm attached now, first of all, let me tell you, I graduated my bachelor's from a semi-government university. It's partially government and partially private.
What is explain it to me?
It's semi-government mean the land initial investment was offered from the government, but later after a few years time the CEO or the chairman came, they got the lands and the investment from government, and then they separate from government and said that they can sustain without the government's help.
Okay.
So that made them semi they call themselves semi-government because the government part comes because the land was provided by the government, but the infrastructure and the other stuff were given. I think it's their own investment, and also from the students they got a huge amount. So now
Okay.
they go private,
So getting back to the question, is
and
there
yeah.
is there
So
any of those universities that are developing, designing MOOCs that have partners with Coursera or edX or
No, 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 not at all, not at all. But I've heard my bachelor's university is trying to have internal system where they record the videos and some sort of like MOOC type.
oh, okay.
But internally, they would not be interested in having a partnership with other universities because still in our country, you don't get much of the students enrolled in those courses like India.
Oh, okay.
For
Okay.
example, in India, IIT Bombay is one of the major partners in uh, Asia, South Asian region from edX, I guess. And also, apart from Russia, I think Coursera has the highest crowd from India.
When you talk to people, I mean friends, people that you just know, do you often talk about MOOC? Do you promote MOOCs?
Of course, because every time when I see a students, I tend to ask them, have you taken this course? Because I see a huge value. Even, for example, I start from my niece, my husband's son who takes the national level exam, and because he's taking the bio stream, I've always said that edX has lots of courses that he could try, uh, gives a huge knowledge. So now when I told this to my niece, what he told me was like, they are focusing on the exam so much that they don't have time to watch or participate in these such things.
Mm-hmm.
Again that certification thing comes up. People who have real passion only want to invest their time on these courses.
Okay. So, yeah, for instance, you promote MOOCs, but do you have you talked to how many people that you know of in Sri Lanka that you know that you have talked to are taking MOOCs? How many do you think that you have
Okay.
talked with?
uh, 10, I guess. 10,
Okay.
yeah, I could say
Eh,
10.
and what are the perception of the MOOCs?
Oh, some people, it depends on the platform they take. For
Oh, okay.
example, and also the course as well. Not all the courses provide the same pedagogical, structure or the engaging culture. For example, let's say human-computer interaction course we took. Uh, one of the student was the he was from one. um he was working in a company in Sri Lanka. He's not a student in a university, but working in number one type of a company, a software development company. Uh, what what we found in that course was more engaging, where the instructor and there were lots of TAs, teaching assistants, right?
Yeah.
There were Yeah, there were lots of TAs who were supporting during the course. Even the moment that we type something on a forum, we get a reply from a TA or somebody who's interested. It so the moment we saw that it was replied by a staff or a TA, we tend to feel like, okay, these guys are really sort of like, we felt like we are not alone.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
The isolation part wasn't there. We felt just like we are in front of a teacher learning, or else we knew that we are not lost. So that's HCI, which is more engaging and more interactive. Taking another course, I've taken it from I think University of California, Irvine.
From which one? Khan Academy?
No, no, no. It's Coursera again,
Oh, okay.
but a different subject. It's called Virtual Instruction, Foundation to Virtual Instructions.
Okay.
It was from University of California, I guess.
Okay. And you like that one?
No, no, no. It was the dull one. It was the the poorest quality one
Oh, okay. Okay.
because because the videos were made without any effort, like you were talking to a screen, and just like you and I record here, like a broadcast on air or something, like she was the lecturer or the teacher was just in front of a computer and just talking to a screen without any emotions, or sometimes we see a cat behind her, and then that disturbed the whole the picture. I don't know, it
You said a cat behind it?
yes.
I love
and, and once it was there was a forum full of uh, yeah, I don't know, comments about the cat.
Oh my God, really? While he was lecturing the course? That is a very good example. Yeah.
So that and also I mean, now you will be given, for example, say America. The video says, okay, the United States start online learning on 1996 or something, and then she was teaching something. And then the quiz, when you take a quiz, then the quiz asks, when did we start the online learning? It's just like,
Yeah.
grade one sort of questions,
Okay.
elementary school type. You given a paragraph, and then from the paragraph you will be given some quizzes.
Okay. So, and which others examples do you have that you don't like? This is very important to know. What is not working in the MOOCs?
Because it did not promote of the creativity. I don't know, it did not. It just like, okay, somebody can argue that's mastery based learning because you get to be testing what you have done, but as human nature, we at least want some creativeness, or else at least to be treated that we are not kindergarten.
Right, right.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
that's
one good
interesting.
example, and the other examples, uh, now that we have taken more courses, okay, course after course, it's so same. But for example, the digital cultures from that Edinburgh University, they provided something different. That's again in the same platform, Coursera. So how did they do differently? Because they made us contacted via, I don't know, Google Hangouts. Most of the time they had lots of hangouts, and they had lots of conversations type of, what we do not enjoy this lecture type, somebody's teaching or is try to transmit information, but rather we like a conversation, sharing the experience. That's how we learn best.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
in that in that course, we were given opportunity to make an artifact about what we learned. So we were not restricted to answer only a quiz, but make a blog or make a video or make whatever that we can show that we have learned something.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
That's we were given the flexibility. That's very important. So, I mean, I could be very good at writing a blog, or somebody else could be good at making a video. So, they all were given a chance.
Right. What would you say that? um, culturally you could adapt in the MOOC?
Did you mean culturally?
Culturally, yeah. According to your culture, what would
Okay.
you what would you add or what would you take out?
No, I'm not clear. What did you ask?
Oh, because of, for instance, our culture,
Okay.
Mexican. I'm Mexican,
Okay.
and pedagogically, we are not used to lectures. I mean, like in the United States, is different the process, and we are very warm people. We like to chat. We like to ask you how is your family, what did you do yesterday before starting a course, before starting a lecture or whatever. So what I mean by that is, from my culture perspective, if I'm going to watch a video with a professor explaining to me something, uh, maybe I would like a little bit of what is the name of this? Jokes
Mm-hmm.
during the lecture,
Mm-hmm.
not to be very serious. Probably could be like I'm serious, but then I can give an example that makes a little fun because
Mm-hmm.
we like that. We are not very ceremonious. We like that little things that I could include in the video. Or, well, because we are people who speak Spanish, I would definitely like a translation into Spanish embedded in the lectures. So, what do you think can help people in Sri Lanka, according to your culture, to add in the pedagogical method?
Oh, I thought US is vice versa because Sri Lanka is more, they are more familiar with the type of serious lectures,
Okay.
or else the lecturers themselves have created a situation where they tend to be like the bosses, or else the distance is really far from the student to the professor. It's really rare that you find a funny or funky or you know that type of a lecturer, unless you get lecturers like that when you get visiting type of professors who are working outside the academia, who are
Hmm.
really working. For example, we got some lecturers who were working from Ericsson and Nokia once, like I remember. They were talking from their experience, which we really enjoyed much. But the typical lecturers are more serious, no jokes or no nothing. So I
Okay.
think I think culturally majority are used to it, although personally me or the friends that I associate do not embrace that.
Okay. Okay. And and you were talking about the Coursera courses, some of the Coursera courses. Which platform of the different platforms that you have used? I know that you've been in edX and Coursera and I think P2 in P2, what is it? P2PU. Have you used that one?
Here university,
Have you used it?
yes,
Have you used Iversity or Iversity? I don't know how to pronounce it.
yes, iversity. I think my number one is Novoed.
It's which one?
Novoed.
NovoEd. I know that you are taking right now a course about in NovoEd. Can you tell me about it?
I haven't met a team yet, so that I don't have much to talk. But there were three courses that I've already taken from Novoid, which have lots of experience, and uh, remembering even remembering those courses make me so happy because I met lots of people, and then it was all about the teamwork. And I remember the technology entrepreneurship class that I took. That course, I met five people, one from Brazil, one from three from States, and one from Egypt.
Okay.
We all worked together, we had weekly hangouts. There were people who are working really and had children. I think one of the students from he's originally from Indonesia but living in United States. I think they were Americans as well, but national, I don't know. They're from Indonesia initially, but you know he was the leader at the time, called Kunta. Remember, he was working for a telephone company, but we all worked together as a team in a university. It all went back to my university ages that, we had deadlines where we had to submit. We all had group works. We all gathered in the hangout and we did all the assignments through Google Documents, and one
Okay.
part was taken by one student and the other part we all coordinated and supported each other. It was fantastic, the bond we got. I think one of the boy from chemical engineering background from Egypt, yeah, Egypt University, and then one of the girls, she's, I think she's somewhere around 40 or near to 50. She had a daughter who's going to the Stanford University. So,
What was
so
that course about?
that's technology entrepreneurship from Professor Chuck Easley.
And so at Novo, the difference with edX or Coursera or Iversity, for instance, is that they encourage you to work in groups. Is that
That's
that could be the main difference?
Yes, that's the main difference. Everybody works as a group or team, and they call themselves as a social platform rather than a MOOC.
Oh, okay. They don't call themselves MOOCs.
Yeah, most of the time, if you go to their site, they say they're social learning platforms.
Okay, that's interesting. Um, I forgot I was going to ask you something. Oh, the groups are small. How many people in a group?
It depends. It depends on what, I mean, uh, this is how it works. When you enter into a course, either you can form a group or you can get requests to get into some other's group. For example, I can get into a group asking permission from one of the members who formed a group, saying that I have this expertise, I'm living in Sri Lanka, or as I could be able to market myself,
Okay.
saying that I can contribute to your team, so that if the team is willing to take me, they would do that. In most cases, they do, because the objective is to find a team member or else team members. We find somewhere around 3 to 8 members in a team, and they always recommend to have 6 members in a team.
Okay. Okay. Because there you have to divide the homework. Do you have homeworks every week? Assignments?
It depends on the subject. For example, technology entrepreneurship, we did not have homeworks every week, but the assignments were tough, where we needed the team to work together if we want to go through with the course. For
At the
example, by week.
Do you have final exams?
No, all assignments based.
And when you finish the course, do you receive any certification?
Yes.
Do you have to pay for the certification?
No.
Okay, because you know right now edX, Coursera are issuing certain kind of certifications that you have to pay for. You can get a what is the name of this?
Honor code.
Certificate of
Honor code and authenticate certificate.
yeah, I don't remember the names, but not in Novo Ed. In Novo Ed, you
Nowhere
receive.
you find courses which is free, and also you find courses which you have to pay something around $2,500 sometimes.
Oh, okay,
Yes,
so yeah,
those are Stanford inside courses. I think from Stanford Business School and Stanford graduates some courses,
oh,
professional courses,
okay. The course that you are taking right now is free.
free. It's
How,
from Acumen. It's from Acumen. It's a non-profit organization.
no,
Ideal.
okay, no, I don't know about it.
It's from I think it's a well-known design lab. I have heard IDEO design thinkers.
Okay. And are you taking another MOOC right now beside this one?
Yes, from Coursera. I'm taking the course called Critical Thinking.
Critical thinking. How many weeks is going to be the course?
I think it's 6 weeks.
Okay. And of course, in Coursera, it works differently. You don't have to be in a group. You just can work by yourself, right?
I always prefer to have a group. I don't, I call myself an interactive person because learning by yourself doesn't make any sense because it's boring and once again if I feel I find a colleague or somebody who's interested as me, I always find to I tend to find somebody from the forums to do work as a study buddy or something
Uh-huh.
because learning by myself, I wouldn't be able to evaluate myself whether I learned the concept because the same concept could be seen from my eyes, or else the concept it's looking at the same concept from your eyes would be different. So I would always, I would always like to see that difference.
Did you? We were together in a course, in a course from edX. The course was developing and designing technological education, something like that. That was the name. Did you finish it?
Yes,
Did you
I've got
get
100%.
the certification?
Yes.
And what is your opinion about that course?
I think it's somewhat different from other edX courses because I always find that edX is the very, very much, least, I don't know, least usable platform to study because that course supported another platform for the
Hmm.
forums, right? There was a LTI platform which was interesting, not much as the courses that I've taken from Novite, but up to a certain extent. For example, this Unhangout one, and then this AMA, Ask Me Anything things like those are the things that go beyond the course what the platform supporting, right?
Hmm.
Those are the networking parts. Those were interesting. Those were interesting, and that's the main part that I got much more engaged with the course, and of course the group works or as the project base that they were introduced in the course were so interesting. I wouldn't be interested in just following quizzes because I always, or else I don't know, doing assignments or projects made me so engaged in the course than just following some quizzes. And I would say there was another course from MIT, entrepreneurship, from Bill Alec, Professor, I don't know, Dr. Bill Lawlett, yes. Uh, that course, they had videos which has 100% best quality, cinematography or something. There was
Mhm.
a, it's like a movie. Uh, the course content is totally based on talkings, and then but even though the videos were fantastic, the pedagogy is very had very less space to engage with each other. I mean, it's like you are taking a course in a CD-ROM or something, because it's just the quizzes and the videos. I mean, you don't. If you do not let your students to engage in a situation, that makes so isolated. I don't know, for me, I enjoyed the course because of the videos and the content. Mm, if had we had lots of interaction between the lecturer and it doesn't have to be always the lecturer, but at least some teaching assistant, like it's the course we had in the Coursera. If we had given some project-based learning, or if we were evaluated with the projects, that would have been much more better.
Okay. Have you, when you take these courses in Novoed and you belong to these groups, when the course ends, have you follow up with some of the students that you work together?
Yeah, I see. I mean, because we had Google Chats, and then of course we connected through LinkedIn as well. So I see them. I mean, whenever I take another course, when I see them inside that course, we tend to talk.
Okay.
And whenever the time that I might, for example, this one of the students, she had a company by herself, uh, who was living in United States. Um, I think I contacted 3 or 4 times her beyond the course, which we couple of times we had just chats, and 1 or 2 times I had to interview her to ask her views about the course, because I did the research too based on research. So,
Hmm.
and also she understood my potentials, and because she had a company, and she was interested in having me as one of her, she wanted to overlook on her programs or some things like that. So whenever she needs something, she could remember my name, and then she knows where to contact me to ask opinions or any consultations or something.
Oh, okay. And are you why you are well, let me get back to this idea. Do you are you studying right now your PhD, if I'm correct, or you finish your PhD, or something with that?
Yeah, I'm in my second year.
You're in your second year of your PhD. What is your PhD about?
It's e-learning and human-computer interaction.
Okay. And are you working too?
No, I'm part-time student. I'm not that I'm working out. We own a company, and I'm the director of that company.
What is
So
the company about?
it's about consultation services for companies. Like the company goes as intelligence, ISEC, how do I say, intelligence solutions and consultancy company.
Uh,
So
can you give
my
me an example?
yeah, we arrange workshop. For example, very recently we had a workshop from sponsored by Mobile Think, a Denmark company who provide mobile solutions, mobile device intelligence solutions, and then we had that workshop based on the telco sectors in Sri Lanka, where we gathered the C-level, CEOs, CFOs, and then we did a device intelligence workshop where we educate the telco sector. What are the opportunities that they have to look into.
Why why a PhD student is taking MOOCs?
Mm, I don't know. For me, I take books because subject interest, as well as I would always like to think what others in the world think of the same subject.
Okay.
For example, uh, I meet lots of people in other countries, or else in the other part of the world, who are doing research on e-learning. So I want to be, you know, I want to be known to them, and because the research is about not telling what did you find and knowing what others found, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Oh,
So then only you build up. It's like this. If you know something, you share, and if you don't know something, you tend to find what is it.
mm-hmm,
So when you are working in a connected world, researching is so fun. Like for example, this one of the authors of some of the recent papers. When I read the papers, when I see their names, oh, I know this person.
mm,
That I have come to that level, which is very interesting because knowing a figure and the research, that's that gives a liveness to the research that we do.
exactly.
I would say 70% of the research papers that I read, I know them by at least by their name. I know their background. I know the other researches that they have done. I know their faces sometimes. So that gives me a huge, I don't know, boost to study.
Uh-huh. Okay, so to conclude with this interview, because I told you that it wasn't going to be too long, and it's been. It is very interesting. Um, ha- what as a PhD researcher, what what is your opinion about MOOCs? Uh, what would you change? Well, give me a perspective as a researcher in MOOCs.
I think I got a huge opportunity from it because if I study by myself, reading the research papers and just spending my time on just reading, it would not be much more effective. Now that apart from my readings, I do a lot of subject matter MOOCs. For example, I take MOOCs related to e-learning, and I took MOOC related to educational technologies. So I get a huge knowledge about the others, what I cannot simply find by myself. And MOOC is like a interactive textbook, right? You just don't need to read. Sometimes when you watch some videos, it gives you some of the links, which is very, very interesting.
Hmm.
And some of the tools that will be taught to you I mean, you wouldn't be finding by yourself. I mean, not in a world that I wouldn't be find. For example, the tools like the the websites like Weebly, for example, the website that I have my portfolio on now, it I found it from a MOOC, one of the design thinking class. They were having their assignments in this Weebly platform. So that's how I got to know that even though sometimes I don't finish the courses, I grab the knowledge from them and I apply it to my own things. So it
Okay.
just matter the certificate or not, but the knowledge that we get. The most important thing is once you gather something or a knowledge, for example, it's important to share. Then only you know that you grab the knowledge enough. Like, for example, if i'm if I can, if I'm able to teach you or just tell you what I learned, that means I have learned it very well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be able to confidently tell you anything.
Exactly.
So that's very important. I think I've got much more knowledge even to talk to my friends too. I mean, they have found that I have developed myself a lot. I mean, subject matter, as well as sometimes I take courses on business finance whenever I feel like I need to learn something.
Right.
So uh, MOOCs are like energy pills. Like, you don't have to put much effort. It's like, a pill that you can take instantly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Take a MOOC and you can boost up your knowledge at that time.
Is there anything that you want to talk about before we finish this conversation?
Yeah, I from a person's participant perspective, I would like to see MOOCs change into much more interactive and collaborative way. For example, Coursera, it's itself the honor code says that you cannot work together, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your assignment is your assignment. You cannot collaborate.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, you can. I mean, you can if you go into the forums.
Yeah, but in forum also there's for forum policies. Sometimes you don't practice that, but the forum policy says that you cannot exchange the assignment information.
Oh, really? Well, okay. I don't remember. Okay.
I think one of the classes that we took, uh, uh, teaching assessment and teaching in 21st century, we had this problem where where I brought that in the forum, saying that, why don't we share the assignments and see what others have written, and why my assignment is not up to a, because of the fact that my assignment was very low. I wanted to know from others perspective as well. How do you all see this assignment? Because have I been fairly graded?
Mm-hmm.
So, and that point I learned something that I haven't done. Some of the aspects that assignment was requesting, I haven't covered. Then only I figure out, okay, I because of the fact some other students also post their assignment saying, look, your assignment has is lacking on these areas which I have covered. See, that's how I got the higher marks. So then I learned a lot.
Uh-huh. Right.
I learned a lot because of saw the others' assignment and because they publish it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be knowing. But at that moment, there was a conversation saying that you cannot publicly share your assignment unless in the platform support you for the peer grading.
Oh, okay. That's good to
And
know.
then I think the course assistants came into the picture, and then they said that you just don't try to paste the whole assignment in the forum, but try to make it a chunk or some things, like this quoted parts only.
Okay.
That type of so what I would like to see is group work, or else project based learning, rather than just watching a video, taking a quiz and putting up some. Most of the time what you see is just quizzes, that's all. I mean, if you take 10 courses, you get 6 courses with just video quizzes. But I would like to see much more. collaborative assignments where projects type of things that you have to do, because what we need to learn is to collaborate with different cultures and,
Hmm.
I don't know, communicate effectively and to
Right.
communicate what you learned effectively. That's what needed in a business culture, I guess. Whatever you learn, someday, if you can't make it a business or make use of it in the world, there's no meaning if you learn the Newton theory if you can't make use of it,
Right.
right?
Right. And that is true because we learn many things daily and we forget
Yeah,
them because we don't use them. And
yeah,
that's the sad part because, for instance, in with the MOOCs, with the MOOCs, um, I've taken very interesting courses in MOOCs, but sometimes I don't use the knowledge immediately, and then I try to remember what was that about because I learned it in this course, but I don't remember immediately, so it's difficult. So yeah, definitely, if we really need to learn, we need to practice what we learn.
that's right. For example, if you can remember the course that we took, the education technology, the MIT course, I think I've learned from it very well because they were offering much more conversational type, and even I had a group, and we were working together. There was a German girl from a German university and an Indian girl and a Chinese boy were in our group. We were working on a certain things where most of the time what the German girl was contributing a lot. We gathered every week, and what we did was talking about the lectures. Okay, professor was talking about this concept, for example, the design based learning. What did you think about? What were your perspective about the subject? So we talked. So that
Exactly.
talking made very interesting, so that I got to know her perspective of the same lecture, and some of the stuff that I missed, I learned from her. So so
Right.
that was very encouraging. I think this Coursera also have this talk about sessions
Okay.
where you get a chance to talk about what you learn. That's really interesting. Those are the stuff that makes a course alive.
Right. Well, thank you very much. It's been really great. We had a lot of
Yes,
problems to
yeah,
look at this hangout to record it. Let's cross our fingers that it's recorded. And I will write. As I was telling you, I want to write about this experience in the blog
okay.
about the whole experience, and I'm going to select just a little pics of the video, and I'm going to include it because I think that it's very important that also people listen to our voices, listen to people that are interested in MOOCs, that people are taking MOOCs, and what are the benefits and what is not working in the books. So I think that people should see faces, and that's what I'm going to try to include little by little in the blog, but also because according to my research, if we, for instance, if I upload all this video, nobody's going to watch it. It's going to be boring sometimes, it's going to be interesting sometimes, and right now we need very short videos. So that's my plan to create probably 5 minutes, 3 minutes video, or one
That's right.
minute little pics, and that's what I'm going to try. So you are going to be my first experiment. So I thank you very much for letting me do this,
I enjoy. I
and
enjoy. Thank
I'll try to do it next week, and I will keep you posted when this
Yes, I
maybe.
always enjoy your blog too. So
Thank you
I'm
very
glad
much.
that I'm glad that we networked through MOOCs.
Yeah,
So
exactly. And this has been a really great experience because this is part of this is part of the good things of MOOCs. This is part of the what is the name of this? We learned the word communities, communities of practice, if I remember correctly. This is
Yeah.
part of the community of practice that you need you need to you need you have the course, but if you don't exchange these kind of conversations, as you were saying, the learning process is not completed. So right now is kind of that whole circle that we started in a course that we didn't know each other, and it was wonderful that I live in the United States, but I'm from Mexico, and I could contact you who lives in Sri Lanka, and we can have this wonderful experience thanks to a MOOC. So
Thank.
thank you, and of course we will keep in touch.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
So, good night
So,
from Sri Lanka.
ah,